Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? The men saved this reunion. The first half was all these regurgitated questions and topics. It didn't get interested until Dr. Mimi came out. And then when they replaced the women for the men and they got active and the women back there listening and Heavily and Sweet Teeth going back and forth and back again. And then Simone and Quad went back and forth and back again, baby. It got heated. It's clear that it is time for a shakeup with this cast. You got rid of Phaedra. You brought in Dr. Mimi. Somebody needs to leave. I guess it's gonna be Greg and Sweet Tea, right? Somebody gotta go. Somebody has to go. But if they leave, then who will be the villain and who gonna be the target? It gotta be somebody. Well, welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha and get into another episode of Married to Medicine. It's season 11, episode 17. This is the reunion part 2. And we got one more next week. And baby, you know I'm not a good old reunion girl, but this is turning me into one because I gotta review it for the shows. But baby, I need Andy to work on doing 2 parts. These reunions do not need 3 parts. They're too spread out. It's too many of them. And that's why you got to ask questions about previous seasons. And I know you kind of link in this season's drama with whatever's probably started in the season before, but you kind of need to get away from talking about things that you already covered in the previous reunion. We got to get out of that, Andy Cohen and the viewers. But anyway, let's get into it. Besties, how would you rate this reunion? What did you think? It got good the second part, baby, because all that old blah 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 blah. Oh, it was just draining. So I'm gonna give it, child. It gets an 8. That's about it. Maybe a 7.5. But you drop down in the comments. Please let me know what you thought about the reunion part 2. And please don't forget to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I am trying to be on my way to 1,000. Make sure your notification bell is on. Share the channel. Comment. And if you turn your bell on, ding dong, you will know each and every time I post my content. So they continue talking about Dr. Damon and his alleged cheating rumors. You know, Mariah started that off a long time ago. We have yet to hear any proof, any women, stepping up. I don't know, is a heavily paying the women to be quiet because you know she will, honey. So Contessa says, well, you know, he's human. And Heavenly's like, he is. So Heavenly asked them, do y'all believe that? No, Heavenly asked, do they believe it? And then Contessa said, he's human. And she agreed. Then Contessa goes say, well, you seem like a miserable person to be with. So hopefully he has some kind of joy. I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about, Contessa. That's what I'm talking about, Contessa. See, that's what I'm talking about. I got a little Gemini in my chart, so I was here for that. So here go Heavenly. Your titties are way over there. They so far apart. Don't talk to me about when you got a bad botched surgery, blah, 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 blah. So Contessa reminds her that she had prophylactic mastectomy reconstruction surgery, sweetheart. So what that means, besties, is she removed her breast to prevent getting breast cancer. Maybe it runs in her family, and you do the prophylactic mastectomy reconstruction surgery to remove yours and get some new ones so that you can block the cells. So Jackie says she is sad that Heavenly and Contessa just cannot get their friendship back on track. But I mean, Heavenly Heavenly doesn't respect. I don't know how her respect. I don't know. She can respect Jackie and Simone, but nobody else. And she only has to respect Simone because Simone and Jackie are friends. But Heavenly is just childish to me. And she just says some of anything. She just says some of anything. And it's time that she needs to be ridiculed. Maybe she'll stop. Something needs to happen. I know she's being treated with Dr. Mimi, and she was struggling in the show. I will get to that. So Jack is like, you need to reflect and stop blaming each other for stuff. Simone tells Heavenly that she was wrong for regurgitating the things that Contessa has told her in private. Here we go, talking about Dr. Heavenly getting on her social media platform, talking that talk. Yes, she was wrong for that. Heavenly says, thank you, Simone. You're right, but I have apologized for that. I've acknowledged it already. Don't bring it back. So Andy's like, well, the point is, how long you been on this show? 10 seasons. Yeah, and your social media has been a problem for 10 seasons. And someone said, yeah, there's a pattern going on. So she asked Andy, well, should I stop my social media? And he was like, I don't care because you ain't talking about me. But if you was talking about me, I would have a problem with that. And she was like, that's cool. And, I wouldn't do that to you. You my boy, you write my check. I ain't going to do that to you. You know what I'm saying? I know you my boss. Uh-huh. So Contessa says she thought they were good. And so Heaven like, we was good. And she like, wait, hold on. But all the stuff that you have said has made me wonder if we were ever friends. See, Heavenly can't hear. She doesn't listen. She's so ready to respond. She's not listening. I already apologized. She's cutting her off. She's rambling. Heavenly is struggling because she's trying to change. You can tell she has been talking to Dr. Mimi. She's trying to apply whatever tools Dr. Mimi is trying to instill in her. Contessa's telling her, you just can't listen. That's the problem. You can't listen. And so Heavenly stops. She breathes. She touches her forehead. I guess that's where she can get her calm and she can regroup by touching her forehead. And she says, I will try. Okay, Dr. Heavenly, we're not mad at you. She said, I will try. So Contessa says, well, you look beautiful today. Heavenly said, you do too. And so Contessa, here we go. Thank you. And so are my breasts. Girl, let's move on. So next, Sweet Tea, they talk about Sweet Tea and her age gap dating event and all that. And, so and she talks about how she wants to have a baby and she's willing to take a break from the show to focus on her family. So she let us know, because Andy asked for an update. She let us know that she had an IUI and 2 attempts and they both failed. So she's going to have a consultation in March, which was this month. And she's having a consultation for IVF. And no, it won't be with Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie would just smile like, do, whatever. And so a viewer asked, how could, Greg give you a deadline on when to have a baby, knowing that you have fertility issues? And, the viewer said this was hard to watch, and she knows that Sweet Tea was heartbroken. And so Heavenly gonna say, yeah, it was insensitive. Be quiet. But she would know because she is the queen of insensitivity. So Sweet Tea explains that he meant like he wanted to try other routes to get pregnant. If they couldn't do it this way, like they're doing now. They did the IUI and now they're gonna try for the IVF. And so Simone understands all this. She said it's hard being an older parent. And then she kind of like, Andy, I know you can relate. You got small kids. You know, it's hard to run behind them, do homework with them. And Andy's over there like, what? No, you didn't come for me. What? Girl, I got enough money to pay for help. What are you talking about? I got nannies on nannies on nannies, honey. And so they're all getting on Simone. She's like, no, what I'm saying is, don't nobody want to be at a high school graduation at 80 years old. And I'm like, Simone, I totally understand. And so a viewer asked Sweet Tea, like, what are the 3 essentials for landing a rich older man? Now, who said Dr. Greg was rich? But go off. And so Sweet Tea says, you know, love, protection, and providing for her. And so, of course, they're going to tell you, I agree with all that. And I'm like, you don't have to have an older man for that. That should come with any man that you want to marry. This is what they should be coming to the table with. Providing for you, protecting you, and loving you. Hello? You don't have to get that. And I was just thinking, never mind. Okay, what? Y'all want to say it? Okay. And I was just thinking, when you have an older man, is he coming with the pole? Is he coming with stamina? Because you know what I'm saying. Anyway, Qua said, you know, he should not shun you either. It's not fair. Don't dismiss your wife when she's trying to get through to you. I don't like that. Andy said, Quad, you talking about Dr. Greg? Quad said, yep. Sweet Tea said, you still worried about Gregory? Cute Quad gonna say, are you serious? And I'm like, yes. Because why are you up there talking? Yeah. And so Quad's like, you have my scraps. Sweet Tea gonna say, the scraps you keep talking about. Quad is like, the scraps I let you have. You the one crawled into his DMs and lied to him and said you could give him a baby, and you have not made good on that yet. And do you know nobody said anything to Quad? They over there looking like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's true, but that was insensitive. And no one came to Sweet Tea's defense. Quad sat here and just said what I've already been thinking, but because I don't know if I said to y'all, but I sure have said, like, well, she didn't lie to Greg because she told him I could give you a baby and can't. But that's mean. Hold on, I need water. It's mean to say. And no one came to her defense. Sweet Tea, yeah, it's time to go. Get out these people couch, leave these people alone. And so Sweet Tea looked at Quad and said, you didn't get enough out of the divorce? Baby, I was like, oh, Sweet Tea was bringing it, honey. Sweet Tea was bringing it. Here go Quad, moving on. And it's like, oh, no. You don't get to throw shade and then tell somebody how to feel about it and want to move on. What did you get in the divorce, Quad? Honey, tell us. Tell us, huh? You better tell us before Funky Dineva tell us, because you know he gonna throw you under the bus sooner or later. What? I might need to join his Patreon just to hear his reviews, honey. Okay, moving on. But you did go low, Quad, so don't get mad when somebody go lower or meet you at your lowest. You know what I'm saying? So Sweet Tea was like, well, how did you feel? They asked Sweet Tea, how did you feel going on vacation with Quad? She said, you know, I was open-minded to it, and I knew it would be some drama because Quad is consistently speaking on my marriage. She talks about it a lot. Quad, girl, you speaking on me? No, she called her a baby. Baby, this baby speaks on me every week. I live permanently in a mansion in your mind, and you would love to be me. Quad love telling her that, and I don't get that. I do not get that from Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea is trying to be her cute little old gullible little country self. She ain't worried about you, Quad. And why are you saying that? Because she moved into the house that you moved into. She did what you did. That's her husband's home. He's gonna provide for her at his house. You don't always have to move because some other broad was living there. And child, I know you should, but I mean, if he taking care of stuff, honey, that's what happens when you're dealing with an older man. He trying to retire. He tired of paying mortgage. He he trying to be free. You see how lazy he is at his job. We'll get to that. Gregory is lazy. He ain't moving because he lazy. And he's content. All you gotta do is burn some sage, poof, quad is gone. Moving on. So Sweet Tea was like, "Be you have several failed businesses." I said, "There she go, gone, Sweet Tea." And none of the girls gonna give it up to her. Sweet Tea has been giving us major clapback, but ain't nobody praising her but me, and that's okay. So Sweet Tea gonna say, Quad, oh no, and so Heavenly gonna remind Quad, and she called you a drunk. Oh yeah, she called me a drunk. Sweet Tea was like, well, you do drink a lot, and you do, you've had 2 DUIs, and I'm saying. And so Andy's like, Sweet Tea, he called her T. Are you calling her an alcoholic? And so they're like, and so Heaven is like, don't say she got a DUI. That's disparaging. She just learned that word. And so they was like, well, I mean, she has had trouble in the past with alcohol. She was drunk on vacation. So I looked it up. Quad does not, on record, Quad does not have any cases of a DUI. 1 or 2 of them, okay? So Sweet Tea's like, she was drunk on vacation and she was disrespectful to Gregory, and he had the right to speak up. And so here go all the ladies. Well, what he said wasn't nice. You don't talk to a lady like that. He told her to STFU. And so Sweet Tea said, no, he did not say that. He told her that she has a big effing mouth. Well, Andy said, well, it's antagonistic. And so it's like, you pointing out that, but what about everything that what about what Heavenly be saying, what Toya be saying, what Quad be saying, what Simone be saying? I mean, all of these people, all they do is antagonize everybody. Ain't that what you need to have to be on these shows? So Simone gonna put her 2 cents in, and she's like, oh, but she did start off gloating about King, talking about Quad, and then she turned it around somehow on them. Quad was like, I am blessed. I am grateful. I am so blessed. And I am so appreciative. And I love being with King. And he's my king. And I'm his queen. And I'm going to wear this crown. And I'm going to help him with his crown. And I'm in love. And I'm blessed. She said, honey, I want to tell everybody. And they mama. She going to tell it on a mountaintop, honey, about King, honey. King, you better not mess this up. So Quad says, I am in full support of the Lansfords. And so, really, would you be in support of them if you were single, Quad? Because you talking all this stuff now that you got a man, now that you didn't admit it and let us know you got a man. Now you can be so supportive of your ex-husband and his new wife. That seemed a little odd. Mm-hmm. And guess what, Quad? They didn't want your support. Greg was very clear that he don't want your support. And so he didn't want your support. And King, every time you guys film at your house, King is consistently telling you to let it go, move forward. But you keep talking about Gregory at the house. And everybody in the world say she has moved on. I don't think so. Not totally. Not totally. They're both probably the same. I'm sorry. They're just not. They show, if I didn't care about Greg, there wouldn't be much I would be saying. I would be like Dr. Jackie. You know how she like Quad cares too much. And I know it's a show, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? You showing us what you showing me who you are. And what you're showing me is what shows me that you still have a little bit. And y'all not gonna agree with me, and I don't care. So um yeah. So but y'all keep telling me Quad is over Gregory. Not all the way. And huh. Yeah. So Heavenly was like, you tweeted that drama to Dr. Greg about Dr. Greg, and it was not respected. It like no. They were talking about how Heavenly made that tweet about Dr. Greg not being respected in the medical community. So Andy was like, that was messy. So Heavenly was like, I was wrong, but look what she said about me. I just retaliated, and I apologized, attacking Sweet Tea's fertility issue. And then, she said, but you're not telling the whole story. The tweets about Dr. Heavenly and Sweet Tea saying her mama was in HELL. Heavenly said that was a clapback to what she said. And I'm like, here we go, going back to last season. Not only is it a clapback, it's a throwback. We don't want to hear about those tweets about everybody mama and fertility. Let's talk about this season. But it's connected. I get it. So why do they keep bringing up this old drama? Like, can we stop? Andy, I know it's some more questions. I know viewers got way more questions than them ones you digging out. Can I be the one that picks out the questions? Give me a job, Andy. Give me a job. I will go through and pick out the great questions, and I'll make sure they pertain to stuff that happened this season. So a viewer asked Jackie, how can she stand by and let Heavenly talk so recklessly about fertility, about Sweet Tea's fertility issues? Jackie was like, so they going back and forth and back again. And Andy was like, excuse me, the question was to Jackie. And so Jackie says, I didn't want to get any on me. Nobody understood what she meant. Toya said she said she didn't want to get involved. And so she had to repeat, I didn't want to get any on me. Heavenly, was you hard on Sweet Tea? That was a question. Heavenly was like, you know what? I respect her for coming to the reunion because others did not. And so Andy looked at Sweet Tea. Y'all cool now? And then Sweet Tea was like, well, I guess I'll unblock her now. Why? So they made good. They cool. Yeah. Woo, thank goodness. Man, the men have showed up, honey. They getting out the car. They teased each other. But baby, Dr. Gregory went to his own little dressing room, right? They have isolated him from the other men. So Keen is with the crew, and he said, yeah, Greg said he needed extra security. So, honey, they got this man his own little tiny room, and he away from the men. So he in there asking this girl, why am I in here? Where are the men? I'm going to be stuck in here all day? This ain't cool. Where they rub in here? So she went and got a producer. She's like, you ain't finna be spraying me about this. Let me go get my boss. So a producer comes in there and tells him, we are taking Dr. G, we are taking extra precautions with getting everyone on stage. Bear with us. You and King can't be up in here fighting, and you're going to be in this little tiny room. Where's the Tisha? Where is the man? He already just activated. So Eugene tells King, I don't think Greg have a problem with you. He just has unresolved issues with his ex-wife. And, that's what King been saying. So Eugene hopes that they can talk so that they can coexist. Okay. So Dr. Mimi joins the girls while the men are getting ready. And Dr. Mimi comes and joins. They loved her dress. She was cute. Her hair was cute. Her hair almost looks real. Maybe they just put some extra in the back, but some of that looked real. I see you, Dr. Mimi. So she was telling them in the backstage that she did not know she was going to be a psychiatrist at her job and on this show. But honey, that's okay. Come get you some new clients, honey, because you need to work on Heavenly first. Then Quad and Gregory. So Quad says Mimi is a good time. They went out, they had fun, they stayed out to 5 in the morning, honey. She's a time. She is a time. So Heavenly was like, yeah, Mimi has given me good advice. She's a good psychiatrist. She's helped me with my parenting and relationships. And I took that as her and Sweet Tea. She said she's amazing. And so Dr. Mimi says, yes, we've been working together behind the scene. I said, oh, goodness, girl, I'm get another check. Make sure she pay you in cash, girl. Do like how Phaedra did with that dude. She met him in the parking lot. He gave her his retainer, honey. So Andy asked Mimi about Sweet Tea. And Mimi, Dr. Mimi was like, the first year of marriage. Oh, wait, let's go back to the having fun. Dr. Mimi said there's a Dr. Mimi side of her, and then there's just Mimi. And you got to get to learn both of them. So Andy asked Mimi about Sweet Tea, and so Dr. Mimi was saying how the first year of marriage is hard because it's on display. You got many opinions, with the ex-wife and other people. And so Toya says she loves that Dr. Mimi came into this group. And so then Sweet Tea is like, and don't forget about the comparison of me and Quad. And so Quad is like, well, baby, it's human nature for people to compare me to you or you to me. It's human nature. And you know one thing, honey, you can't compete where you don't compare. I was like, oh boy. And that might be the title of this thumbnail. So Dr. Mimi says she took her time getting to know everyone. And, she's voiced her opinion on things. And so Toya don't agree with everything, but she received it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. You're an Aries, Toya, huh? Mm-hmm. They don't like nobody telling them nothing. So Jackie, they talk about Jackie meeting the Vice President Kamala Harris. And she said it was profoundly impactful, and it was felt so good to having a woman in the White House that understands women's rights and research and how education is so important. But being that we have this new administration, everything is being stripped from us, so it seems like women's rights is kind of rest in peace right now. And so she said, it's just like this. We need the education on the reduction of maternal mortality because Black women suffer from it more. And we also pass away 40 more percent than other women with breast cancer. And they need the funding to understand everything better to learn. But the president and they stripping all the funding. Oh gosh, how many more days do we have of this man? So Simone was talking about, yeah, because it's just awful that women don't have their rights. Like if you're carrying a baby that may have dysfunctions and diseases, you may want to terminate early and you don't have that chance. You don't have that opportunity, and that's not fair. Or what if you miscarry? These people are talking about jail time, and this, that, and a half. And just to think, I don't really want to get into that because it's so sad. And it's just like, what if you were pregnant and you find out your child got this and this and this and this, and then you kind of decide it's early. That's your choice to decide that if that's not what you want to deal with or not. No judgment. It's your choice. And to have that choice taken from you, I mean, really? Really? Let us pray, honey. So Dr. Jackie explains about the mother-in-law stitch, right? And that's how you make the vajayjay tighter after you give birth. And so Andy's like, well, why is it called a mother-in-law stitch? Why is it not called a husband stitch? And so Dr. Jackie says, because her son is happy. And so Andy's like, oh, I get it, I get it, I get it. And so Contessa says after she had her, I think the last baby, she said that baby, you know, that cute little mouthy, I think her name is Layla. Well, Layla was over 10 pounds. Everybody's like, woo. And so she said she think she got that too because, you know, she's still tight down there. And so Dr. Jackie is telling Quad, yep, you're going to get one too. When you know, you're going to get one too, boo. Don't you worry. And Quad is like, okay, girl. So Contessa, Andy asked Contessa about who gets more Botox, her or Scott. And so she said, you know, her, I guess, because Scott said he don't want any more because he feels like men shouldn't get as much Botox as women. And okay. And so Andy asked Dr. Mimi to diagnose each woman using one word, but she doesn't do one word. She kind of gives them a little phrase. So Jackie's diagnosis was she's intentional corrective conversations. Quad, grief, let it out. Heavenly, open up your inner child and nurture her. Woo, that's a word right there. Because I know a lot of Dr. Heavenly's issues comes from childhood. It's totally how she was raised, how she treats people, how she mistreats people. Simone, less rigid, more flexible. Toya, you got it, girl. You don't need no more validation. Sweet Tea, let us know how to support you. Sweet Tea, like, don't worry about it because I ain't going to be here. I'm out. Don't worry about it. Now, if I come back, I'll let y'all know how to support me. And hopefully I have a baby too. Contessa, don't be distracted. You have a lot of energy. Put it where it's supposed to be. Was that a read or what? It was good. Toya was like, she's good. That was good. That was good. So then they leave and go backstage together, which I think was a bad idea. So if we start off part 3 with the men still on stage, they need to well, I'm sure they're gonna separate Quad and Simone. Cause baby, did they get it up in each other's faces like they was about to do something with them dresses on? Whew, child. So the men take the stage without the ladies. Andy greets everyone. You know, he says hello to Curtis. First it was Cecil. Why you didn't invite me to Wicknick? Cecil's like, next year, Andy, I promise. Damon, how you doing? How's the empty nesting? He's like, it's cool with me and Heavenly, but I miss the kids. Yeah, that house is humongous. Like, did y'all know when she be up in her closet doing her YouTube? Do you know she's like on the 3rd floor of her bedroom? Like, yes, that house is huge. It ain't well decorated, but it's big. She got it on YouTube. She walks you around. Curtis, just hi. How are you? Great. Eugene, did your toe heal? Eugene had to think about it. He said, you know what? Absolutely no. My foot still hurt. Scott, how you doing? I'm good. Here go Eugene. You know he fell. It's like, dang, Eugene. So they talk about Scott falling in the bathroom at the house. So they like, Andy said, who won, you or the floor? He talk about, I think the wall won because the floor saved me. Anyway, he hit his forehead. He said he got a Band-Aid on his forehead, but he put makeup on himself. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but when he got to the reunion couch, he had a hat on. And I'm sure the cameraman or something told him, you got to take that hat off so that we can see your face. So then they asked, hi, Greg, how you doing? You writing more songs? He talking about, yeah, I am. Child, please, you don't knock it off. So, okay, let's get into it. So he welcomes King and Steve to their first reunion. He's like, thank you. So Steve tells him, like, you know, all the homies, wives that watch the show, they all rooting him on. Okay. So Andy goes right into it and asks if King and Greg can shake hands. Greg says, everyone says how cool this brother is, but I don't see it. I want to know why he behaved the way he did. You ain't talking about nothing about what you did? Whatever. Greg was like, yeah, bruh, you lack accountability. I love that. We didn't have to get into no long, old, drawn out speech. He said what he said. Andy asked Eugene, how is the med spa going? It's going good. He was like, does Toya still want you to do Botox and fillers? He was like, yep, but the folks is telling him that he has to have a hot girl to do the Botox. They all say it. All the companies are like, you have to have a good looking woman to do the Botox. That's how you're going to get, other women and men to do it. So King gonna say, well, what did King say? He said something about would Toya be okay with that? And so would Toya be okay with you working with a hot girl? And so Toya in the background talking about, tell him, King. And she like, well, I would have to interview her. And so Eugene gonna say, well, it depends on how much she's bringing in. And then Toya like, oh yeah, that's right. You gotta love them. They are funny. So, what else? So a viewer asked, would they be willing to start a band? Because Damon Damon plays the drums, G is on the guitar and he's singing, and Scott is a rapper. Would y'all like to begin to start a band? Damon was like, he's cool with that. King said, well, I could join because I play horns. They was like, you do? Oh, Lord. So Steve says that the band should be called Set Me Free. That's way too much for a title. That ain't gonna do it. That sound like no. But he's making reference to Dr. G's song about quad. So Damon and Greg, they talk about how Heavenly was disrespecting Greg on Twitter. Damon says he wouldn't care if Sweet Tea did that to him because she don't know him and he don't care. He said Sweet Tea can't crush me. And he says, y'all talking about I'm cheating and that's BS. Everybody like, ooh. So he sat there and said, y'all got me cussing. I don't even like to cuss, but that's how I feel. He said, you know what, Greg, you sat there like a coward and you didn't say anything. You did not speak on my character. You sat there and you didn't say nothing. And I'm a man and I'm not even talking in my Dr. Damon voice. And I'm a man and I'm telling you this to your face. Should I start over? I don't care if Sweet Tea did that to me. She doesn't know me, but you do. Your wife can't crush me. They've been saying I'm cheating, and that's BS. And you sat there like a coward, and you didn't speak on my character. You didn't say anything. And I'm a man, Greg, and I'm telling you this to your face. Heavily in the back. Facts. Those are facts. Greg has a problem with accountability. Shh. Don't be shushing me. Sweet Tea was like, you are a one-trick pony, H.O. I was like, what? What? Sweet Tea, what that mean? Heavenly said she wasn't listening. She was watching the TV talking about, come on, little ego. Now she calling Greg little ego. Greg asking Damon, why is he so sensitive? Nope. Damon asked Greg, why is he so sensitive? No. Yeah. Damon said, why are you so sensitive when my wife said you're a cheater? Wait a minute, am I getting that right? Maybe. Oh yeah, that is. I don't recall it. That sounds right, but really, Greg asked Damon why is he so sensitive when his wife said that he was a cheater. Oh, Dr. Heavenly was calling Greg a cheater. Huh. With Sweet Tea or with Quad? With Quad, because he was talking about the hotel rooms. Okay. Okay, I got it. See, here we go. Talking about stuff that happened last 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, child. Okay, so it doesn't have any. So here go. Who is this? Damon talking about it doesn't have anything to do with your profession. No, this is Greg talking to child. Wait a minute. This was Greg talking to Damon. It doesn't have anything to do with your profession. You still got pockets, like you still getting money. So Damon is like, cause she don't know me, blood. Cause she doesn't know, me. You do. So Cecil tells Damon, Greg can say the same thing to him about not stepping up for him when Heavily posted that Greg is not respected in the medical community. Damon's like, how? Cecil's like, the same way you said he knows your character. You know his. Heavily in the background, we do know his character. That's the problem. What did she say? Like, we know he's been in them hotel rooms. Child. Sweet Tea is like, what you gonna do? Sweet Tea tired of talking. Nuck if you buck, bruh. What you gonna do, Heavily? Girl, what? Don't sit here acting like y'all gonna fight in these ball gowns, okay? These, like, really? But actually, Heavily's in a ball gown, not you, Sweet Tea. You're in a dinner dance dress. you you did not read the room. Who picked that dress? It's cute, but not cute for the reunion. But actually, you know what? Sweet Tea's dress looks better in person. I saw some more pictures and it wasn't as bad, but it just didn't scream reunion. So Heavenly, I know a lot. Please stop. I'm trying to go to a better place. What place you trying to go to, Dr. Heavenly? That's Dr. Mimi working on this Heavenly. She's trying to change. I don't know if she was talking about a better place to not respond so much, or she talking about going to heaven. But either way, it was funny because we have watched Heavenly 2 times try to recenter herself. Okay, and it is a sight to see. Sweet Tea is like, cut it out. Heavenly's like, let it go, Bia. You know, B-I-T. Damon is telling Greg, Heavenly can be mad at you. That don't change how I feel about you. Eugene is like, let me just stop because in this day and time, social media can ruin your business and your reputation. And Dr. Heavenly calling him a PDF, the P word. You guys know what I'm saying? The word starts with P, ends with file. People that likes younger, underage people. That's what he's talking about. With her calling him the P word, Damon said it was wrong, to say infidelity as well. And so he said, you should have came and talked to me. And so he said, you never came to me man to man. You never came to me man to man. And you got me mad. And you got mad at me and stopped seeing my and you got mad at me and stopped seeing my patients. Greg is like, no, I came to talk to you. Your patients were high maintenance patients with a dick. And David said, you're lying. You're lying because it happened after all this happened. You didn't have no problem taking my patients before the mess. And so he said, you can't stand up as a man and just say when you're wrong. Greg was like, I'm above that, sir. Not taking your patience behind that drama. I'm above that, sir. Child. Heavily back there laughing. Her and Toya back there laughing. Toya said, oh my goodness. It said, they talked about you just did that out of spite. And so that's what Greg said, out of spite. I'm above working out of spite, sir. Whew. Child. Heavily back there talking about BITCH move. Toya like, oh, that was so childish. You gotta, and so they talking to Heavenly, Sweet Tea, because she's still talking crap to to Heavenly. And so Toya's telling Sweet Tea, you gotta be able to receive it. You just got to. Heavenly's like, he's disrespecting himself at this point. And so Heavenly said, he needs to go. And Sweet Tea's like, be quiet. And Toya was like, that's the problem. That's the problem in your household. Nobody is speaking except for him. Ooh. Andy tells Greg, it seemed like you are lying. Greg is like, child, impatience require more energy from me. Let me do Greg. I am so sorry. I missed it. All my points. Here go Greg. His patients are more energy and I need more resources. Greg is a lazy liar. Oh, and he's a lazy doctor. He don't want to do the patients because it make him work more. He said when they had got together that he would have to stay longer, and he don't want to be bothered. Greg is at the age, he looking at retirement soon. All he want to do is go play golf. He don't want to work. He lazy and lying and lazy as a psychiatrist. Then he over there telling another lie, telling Damon that he did tell him that he couldn't treat his patients. Damon's like, you're lying, and your character, and that's what I'm talking about. Integrity is important. And then Greg starts laughing at him. Greg laughed in Damon's face when he's talked about integrity. They all looking like, oh, blood, like, oh, you should have. Did y'all see how Scott looked at him? Scott looked at him like, blood, you are so childish. You are losing. It was terrible. And Toy in the background, that's a real man right there. That's that real man talk right there. That right there. And so Steve says, this hurts because they are real friends. But if they don't talk about this and talk it through, it's just going to keep happening. And so Damon is like, I do want to talk. I do want to talk to him. So then Greg, well, I apologize for letting you down. Damon accepts the apology because it's the right thing to do. And God wants me to apologize. And I'll do it because we're friends. Eugene said it was an uphill battle having to hang out with Greg and Quad on that trip all together. He said, because kudos to them because he wouldn't have been able to do it. And I don't blame him. And did y'all see King's face after he said that? So a viewer says, maybe Quad is just in her happy era and, lifting up her man. And, maybe it has nothing to do with Greg. Child, what? Curtis says, for a year, Quad had to listen to Greg talk about how good Sweet Tea was to him and their relationship and how great she was. And, so Quad is in the background, in the backstage talking about, I didn't have a problem with it. See, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem. And it's like, girl, okay. Okay. I'm going to leave it alone. So Simone said, Quad, you wasn't around when Sweet Tea and Greg came back. So if anything, you was watching this on TV. I was like, ooh. Quad was like, the fact that y'all ushered them back into this group is the first problem. Then you're going to utilize these people against me. Utilize, not the right word, Quad, but go off. Simone was like, you what? And Simone is hollering, you wasn't around, so we can usher in the people we were effing with. Ooh, cuss words. That make it even worse, right? It's like, here goes Simone. You gave us your ASS to kiss, and we hung out with Greg. And Quad was like, STFU. And Simone says, USTFU. Quad gonna say, I said it first. I said, what? I was like, Quad is just like her ex-husband. She don't even know. Her and Greg are so much alike, they don't even know. Now Contessa is in between them because they didn't got up. They in each other's faces. Everybody's security bodyguard is in the room trying to break them up, trying to hold them, trying not to mess up the dress and rip the dress and trying to contain them. But they going off because, you know, Simone is a hot firecracker and so is Quad. And so Quad said, some, you dirty bitch. I was like, ooh. Simone says, you got what karma had coming to you. Quad is like, what karma, Simone? What, Simone? What, Simone? Simone is like, you turned your back on people, and we did you the same. Quad said, I never turned my back on you. Who was knocking on your daddy's door, going there to find your daddy? It was me. Simone says, don't you talk about my daddy. And she told her, you never been anywhere without a camera. And baby, that was the end of Married to Medicine Part 2 reunion. Honey. That is my second recap today. I'm tired of talking. I've been talking for 2 straight hours. But baby, that was good. And what's even better is next week is the last part 3. OMG. And I see the men and the women are going to stay on stage. And they should, because the men are very important in this show. And did you guys notice a new show is coming? Hold on. April 27th is Bravo's Love Hotel. It's going to be Shannon from OC, Luann from New York, you know, an old cast member of New York, and Giselle and Ashley. They're going to be at a hotel looking for love. Ashley kissing on old men, young men, trying to get over her daddy issues. It's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know if I will recap it. I'm not sure because that's not something that's going to come back. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, besties, that was the end of part 2, honey. I can't wait for part 3 because what happened? All you keep hearing is Simone, I'm done. Everybody done with everybody. But please drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about part 2. Please like my video. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you subscribe, share my channel with your friends and family, and make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. And I'll be back with another recap, besties. Bye, besties.